stop, and landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes, please.
Ever departure Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance, Pilotus 4658 is type PC final slam call frequency clearance to Vegas S file.
Pilotus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Pilotus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Check flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Pilotus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expected cruiser rescue 5, departure 167, focus 67, plus switching side.
Plus 4658, three back is correct. Tango, you might connect to the ground via Echo and frequency.
Fixing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237, Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind runway 26, left report base.
Enter left downwind 26 left, report your base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242, on the visual for 20 right, returning for right base short.
United 242, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170.3.
Clear to land, 20 right, United.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 1. Number 237, Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Left clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ground Pilotus 4658 is trying to weather going for taxi.
Pilotus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the island.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report miss.
November 2903 Alpha, low approach, runway 9, next is North Sydney.
Palm Springs Tower Pilotus 4658 ready to go trail right at Bravo.
Pilotus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff trail right Pilotus 465.
Senior 0 Yankee Kilo, roger, taxi into the ramp via Alpha. Pilotus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking base.
We're sending Charlie Alpha, and on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha. Thanks.
November 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed?
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the public mid-approach procedure, November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left. Number 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower, good afternoon. Ontario, wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clear the active uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi in the south ramp via Sierra, remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra on this frequency, 6 Delta.
Riverside Tower, Riverside routes, November 2903 Alpha, in Alpha request taxi to the transient partner.
Number 2903 Alpha Riverside ground in the future. Don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. Should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold short point. Stay on this frequency for now. Taxi to ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha. Broadband. November 2903 Alpha.
Runway clear. Runway clearance. November 6th. Charlie Mike Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherokee 76 Charlie Mike Jolly clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be, let's go, Kilo, Oscar X-ray, Romeo.
That's Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. Which reminds me.
Las Vegas Tower Plus 465 usual 1 on the right 4500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land 1 right 465.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel. Remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, right hotel, and frequency update 465.
Ground number 953 Whiskey Alpha's Hyperge Comanche TH4/Alpha. Taxi be active VFR east departure with weather.
Calling Long Beach ground, need you just verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that. 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound and runway east ramp just south of runway 25.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, roger, runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right via Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short 25 right Kilo, ready for departure VFR east.
Around 16 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right downwind departure, approved.
Clear for takeoff 25 right, right downwind departure 6 Whiskey Alpha. Good day, Palm Springs, ground scanning Hotel Tango. East ramp, India, close traffic, 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango, Mike, Palm Springs, ground, say good aircraft type.
4A Cessna Sky.
Skyline Tango, Mike, thank you, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo, 31 right, Papa Hotel Tango.
We're center 791 Juliet, towards ground left.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet. We see there's no clearance delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground. Just say your intentions.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet. Type Cessna 172 on the south numbers with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to
Number 791 Juliet, roger, departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1249 2061.
Got 991 Juliet, read back is correct. Are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just gotta go to the start. Sky 791 Juliet, south numbers 0952.
Sky 791 Juliet, roger, runway 29 right. Taxi via hotel, correction, taxi via Alpha in Juliet.
29 right taxi by Alpha and Juliet, Sky 791 Juliet.
Palm Springs Tower, scanning Papa Hotel Tango. Mike is holding short runway 31 right, Bravo, and ready for departure, close traffic. Hello everyone, happy Sunday. Man, I've been really looking forward to flying today. It's such a casual, such a nice Sunday, and I know what it is, but a perfect day to do my I-3 rating, the third of 11 ratings, I believe, or 10. There's one rating that is currently not available because it is some kind of a jet-based, I don't know exactly what the reason is. I think it's the I-10 rating or the I-9 rating that we cannot do at this moment, perhaps sometime in the future. But in total, 11 ratings, and now we are doing the third. A nice IFR flight using a tech route from John Wayne to Burbank Airport, which is going to be a flight of about, let's see what ForeFlight is telling me, 39 minutes or so en route. So that's really nice, and we're using tech routes. What I never heard about tech routes before, but apparently because the LAX area is such a dense airspace in terms of routes, departures and arrivals, ATC likes us just to stick with approach and with departure with TRACON and not go to center, so to better coordinate, more efficiently coordinate flights in between airports in the Los Angeles area. And so these are predetermined routes that you can just look up. And you just fly those, and makes filing a lot more easy because you already see you've got 3 types of different aircraft that you can fly. Piston aircraft like our Cessna 172, but also turboprop and jets. Those are the 3 main categories, I believe. And for each of those 3 categories, ATC says, well, this is the route that you need to fly, that we like you to fly. I believe they're even mandatory. I mean, you can file any route, but chances are ATC will then give you a full amendment of your IFR flight plan that matches the tech, so better to be prepared. And in our case, we're going to fly one particular tech route from John Wayne to Burbank that you can just look up for, and that makes reading back clearances much more easy because most likely your IFR, your filed flight plan is spot on. So usually we'll get some initial headings to fly to your first fix and then cleared as filed, which is always wonderful to hear. So this is an introduction, I guess, an introductory I rating into the tech route system, which is perfect, and again shows you how the I ratings can be used as your training schedule. In my case, I use those as my final exam check rides, but obviously you can use the I ratings themselves as your training curriculum. Step by step, they increase the difficulty and they introduce you to new concepts like the tech route. So that's really, really great. So that's what we're going to do today. Hey, Dad, good to see you. Problem solved, Tim. Yes. So yeah, I've not a big problem, but I have my Real Sim Gear hardware GPS right in the cockpit, and it was fitted quite nicely. But one thing that was kind of frustrating was that it's a bit loose for some buttons. So when I press a button in the left down corner, I see the GPS wiggles a bit, which is really, really, really annoying. And I thought it could be fixed with quite a simple fix, but it turned out that that was not the case. So I needed to remove the whole structure and blah blah. But now it's vast als een huis. So that's really, really nice. So yeah, I'm quite pleased. And also, perhaps I can even show you guys. Why not? I have my iPad here and I can just turn on my cam and I can show you. First though, I have another announcement. Not really an announcement on my part, but an announcement on the part of a great flight simulator friend, Dutch flight simmer, which is new to the scene, relatively to us all, I guess. Also an active user of my Discord, and his name is Kim. Not Tim, but Kim. Papa Hotel Kilo India Mike. He's also here present in the stream. And the guy had a wonderful idea that was inspired, I guess, by the conversation that we all had on the Discord. And that was the following. Don't know if you can see already, but we're currently on PilotEdge, as always, and you can see my beautiful Skylane, or my beautiful Skyhawk here, excuse me. But in the background, you can see another airplane. This is the airplane of Kim, the Papa Hotel Kilo India Mike airplane. But if you are a bit familiar with PilotEdge, you can obviously notice a custom livery. And what PilotEdge does is not doing any custom liveries. These are not shared, right? You can even see it's animated. Kim is showing off his wonderful tech, and he should. Usually we see the default liveries, in case you have a Skyhawk in this case, right? Which is already really great and everything is animated. But wouldn't it be great if others could actually see your custom livery while you are flying on PilotEdge, which would greatly enhance our sense of community. And you can actually see my Papa Hotel, my yellow Skyhawk, fly across SoCal while you are joining in on traffic patterns, or you're visiting John Wayne in this case. And that's the idea that Kim had. He thought, hey, couldn't we make a very simple app that, or a plugin, I don't know what he's doing. I'm not part of the development team, by the way. This is his project. I'm just very, very curious. Where well, people can just register their liveries. I believe he's even working on CSLs, but Kim let me know in the chat to correct me if I'm wrong. But not only the liveries, but even the CSLs of the airplane that you're flying shared seamlessly online to your folder. So it's using the same kind of plugin that automatically does all the downloading and installation in the background, like the current rep version is doing by SimCoders, which is really, really great. So you don't have to install and unzip and stuff. It all happens automatically. You just register your livery and your aircraft, and this is done automatically for PilotEdge. And well, in this case, I can just see him standing there and see, hey, that's Kim on the ramp, right? Now, that would be really, really cool. And it's almost finished. Still some tweaking to do, I believe. But that would be really, really great. So we can see Digital Aviator here with his own airplane. Anyone who's joining in here, we'll actually see our custom liveries, which is really, really cool. Now, if you are interested in this project, or like to cheer Kim on, please hop over to our Discord link you will find in the information pane on my Twitch channel that you most likely already are familiar with, and you can jump on and chat with us all, but also have a peek on the progress of that wonderful little app. It doesn't have a official name yet, so yeah, still in development, but I believe it's going to be there pretty soon. So that's great. So yeah, a nice announcement, I think, on the part of Kim, but also as part of the community. And again, what I also really, really like underlying all of this is the fact that these kinds of projects are inspired by our community spirit. I mean, it's not, I didn't play any part in the technical or development aspect at all, but the fact that we inspired such a project to come about from a Discord, from a community kind of get together, I think that's really, really cool. So we're doing something good, I believe. So Kim, welcome once again, formally, to the Flight Sim community. He's also a real-world pilot, by the way. This is a great initiative, and I'm really, really looking forward to a plugin that can do that, because I think that will really enhance our PilotEdge community. He's also in contact with Keith, by the way, so Keith knows, which is also good. Support by PilotEdge. Anyways, that was the first announcement, but I wanted to tell you something else I remembered that I already forgot about. If you can still recall what I was talking about before this announcement, then let me know so I can finish my little thread here. Let me see. So yeah, tech route flights. I rating, we're at John Wayne. Traffic. Kim already told me just before this stream that it was actually quite busy on John Wayne, which is interesting. There's already a Skyhawk there on the runway, off of the runway I should say, which is good. We got some weather around LAX, but it's gradually improving, which is good. Burbank is VMC, I believe, or it's getting even more VMC by the minute, so that's good. Oh yeah, I know what I was talking about earlier. I'd like to show my dad my cockpit. Let me see if I can do that, and if AirServer actually allows me to do so, because obviously now there's a lot of data now transmitted over Wi-Fi to my computer while we're streaming, and that's obviously not a healthy thing to do, but let's just see whether it works. It worked in previous streams as well, so it should work. Okay, there's my cam. Boom. Yeah, it works. So GPS. So what happened was that when I pressed here or here, that the entire GPS tilted a bit inside this casing, which was not pretty. So I fixed it. But I would like to show you something else. I have my custom, well, let me show you these first. My custom printed keys. Look at those guys. with custom backlights. And I already had my keys, but I made stickers, and well, it was nice, but this is so much better. So that's cool, programmable keys, but now with custom key caps, I should say, and also with my transponder / autopilot stuff. Yeah, eye candy, I guess, but it's really handy, and it looks really nice. And especially the backlighting is very helpful, because now with the stream I need my full lights on, also with the green screen behind me, but when I'm flying alone off stream, I don't have all these lights on. And it's pretty dark here in my small little flight sim room, and I don't like any other lights here except for one gaze at my screen. Yeah, then the backlights actually are really helpful. I think that's really cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to business. Well, so this is the flight. You can see it's not that much of a long flight. Still regular fixes, but these are pre-assigned. This is actually part of a tech route which has a code. And you can search these ones up. And well, in my case, because I'm mostly flying in the so-called area, the downtown area, I'm mostly all of the time I fly tech routes. In some cases, there aren't any tech routes, and you just file your own based on the standard old guidelines. But in this case, it makes life really easy. Also an altitude, so you just file it. Always good to, I don't think it's really necessary, but you file the individual fixes as part of your flight route, and in the remarks you mention the code of the tech route. So the ATC controllers have both, and they know what you're doing. Turkish. Hi, what interface do you use to build those? What do you mean, Turkish? The keycaps? 733. Wow, why file a tech route? Well, first off, ATC likes us to fly tech routes. So even if you don't file them, you will get one. So it's better to be prepared and look those up before you're trying to fly. And again, the purpose of the tech route is to keep you within the TRACON airspace, to not get you out of TRACON and talk with center and stuff, because that requires a lot more coordination, and specifically for shorter flights, it just builds upon the workload of ATC, so they rather just keep you low IFR flights outside of all the high-speed jets, and just keep you with approach controllers who all know what they're doing. They're a little group there that coordinates all of that traffic, so it's really for reasons of efficiency and safety, I guess, also. So that's why. Hey, Toto. Routes are mandatory, and they're even mandatory, so yeah. But it doesn't. You can try not filing tech routes, but you will get assigned a tech route anyways. So that's why. Key passes you showed us. Well, Turkish. Two things. These are bought, so I didn't make them. I ordered them. So this is a 20-key programmable keyboard, mini keyboard. I've also been thinking about getting myself the really custom-made. Proper audio panel and the transponder, but I don't have the money and I don't have the space in my cockpit. So I thought, what can I do? And then I thought, hey, mini keyboards. And then I went on searching for mini keyboards, which was much harder than I actually expected to be. But then I found, what is the brand? Max keyboards. Which had good reviews, and yeah, they work really great. Nice software bundled with the package where you can program the hell out of it. Also very complex keybinds, so also for gaming or for other stuff. In my case, it's pretty basic, but still. So I bought the mini keyboards, a 8-key and a 20-key one, and then I, on top of that, ordered custom keycaps, which you can also do via that same website. So you just upload a Illustrator file, and you hit the button order, and that's it. Which is really great with transparency, as you can see. So depending on the backlights, the light also of the letters and the numbers change, which is really nice. Oh, interesting, 733. Yeah, you're flying all over the place there, which is good to know. So yes, you don't need to file a tech route, nor do you need to do so on PilotEdge, except when you're flying a rating, in which case you're filing an returns to flight rating. Yes. But in either case, though, I believe if you don't file a tech rating, you're gonna get assigned tech rating either way, right? Or sometimes they differ a bit. That's true, but well, tech routings are great. So this is the flight charts. So we have John Wayne. We're still there at the southeast together with Kim. He's going to fly as well, which is going to be interesting for ADC, also for us, I guess, because obviously our call signs are very, very, very much alike. So we have a Papa Hotel Kilo India Mike, but we also have a Papa Hotel Tango India Mike. So this is going to be funny. Obviously, he has a much faster, much quicker, much more powerful airplane, so he's going to depart later, I believe, Kim. But he's going to be sooner at Burbank than we are with our cute little Cessna 172. I'm expecting ATC will also make us very, very aware of the fact that we have someone else on radar that has a very similar call sign. Which is important. You can imagine all kinds of accidents based on similar sounding call signs. Okay, but well, we're very quite familiar with John Wayne. I'm going to request to taxi to the midfield run-up to do our run-up checks, and then we get going. Then, as part of the rating, we're going to fly the ILS for runway 8 in Burbank. Well, you can see it looks like spaghetti. But it's nice spaghetti. And again, a lot of information here does not really apply to us because we're not coming from the north or from the west. We're coming from the south, from Santa Monica VOR, as you can see here. So we're actually primarily interested in that little chunk. 4,400 radial 311 to Silex, which is the initial approach fix. Now, as part of the full approach, if we would, I think as part of this rating, we should not request vectors. Most likely we're going to get vectors, but we just need to, there's not really a transcript on the I-3 rating on PilotEdge, I think. So we're going to request the full approach. That means that if we should prepare, I guess, for flying the full approach. And that means if we're flying from Santa Monica VOR, which is our last en route fix, this hold comes into play, this hold in Leo, which is actually used for aligning ourselves up for the final approach heading. So this is not here really to keep us in a hold if it's busy, but this is just for us to get ourselves aligned with the approach path. So in our case, you can see there's no PT mentioned on this leg, so this is called a procedure turn, so turning your head around aligned with the approach fix. So you can see here no PT. That means if you're coming from this direction, you should not make use of the procedure turn of this hold to align yourself, which is quite obvious from this side because you are already aligned with the approach heading, runway heading. But in our case here, there's not a mentioning of the no PT here. So if we are flying the full approach and we're not going to get assigned vectors, yeah, we need to be prepared to use this hold and entry to get ourselves aligned. And in our case, this is going to be a parallel entry, like that. But most likely we're just going to get vectors, but it's good to be prepared. And then let's move on. Oh, thank you for flight. Done. Yeah, here we are, the profile view. So Silex, where you can hear, this is that chunk of the hold. So you turn around, 079er is the heading. And then we need to be very wary of the step downs. Now, again, this is interesting, also referring back to my I-1 rating discussion with Keith, partly, is that the Maltese cross, this little thing, the final approach fix, and the actual point where we will capture the glide slope, that's this Harry Potter-like lightning arrow, symbol, are different, right? They don't coincide. So once we stay at 3000 for this chunk, we will then capture the glide slope at 3,000 feet, or not lower than 3,000 feet. And this little final approach fix here, you can see there's an asterisk, and that means localizer only. So if we would fly the localizer version of this approach, which is just the lateral dimension or the lateral component of this approach rather than the lateral plus the vertical, a non-precision approach, then this little restriction comes into play. In our case, most likely it would not be. So you can see straight in ILS runway 8, a decision altitude is 1,007 feet. I should also be more knowledgeable of the RVR, so the actual visibility that we might have, being able to convert RVR to just miles and stuff. I know that Burbank has good weather today, but I'm not really, I have to admit that I'm not quite on par with RVR stuff. Now, you can also see quite elaborate notes. Just as part of this iRating, I just like to go through the notes. We're having a good time, I think. Cessna Sky Pilot. Hey Tim, did my answer on Discord help you any? Most likely it has, but I don't know what question you're referring to. Let me know. I think I replied also to some questions there. Anyways, I greatly appreciate your feedback, guys, and suggestions for improvement. It's such a complex and such a nice hobby to study. But anyways, the remarks. There are a lot of remarks. First off, also interesting, these notes here. Circling runway 26, not available at night. We don't care. Autopilot coupled approach. So if we fly an approach on the autopilot, it's not available below 1,000 feet. So apparently there, lower the ILS becomes a little bit unreliable, so that it can vary quite quickly, suddenly out of the blue. So if you are on approach, flying on the autopilot doesn't care, and when the ILS suddenly switches, the autopilot just goes all over the place, which is quite dangerous in theory, I think. So that's why this autopilot coupled approach is not available below that altitude. We don't care or fly by hand, but it's good to know. Localizer unusable within. Alright, straight in runway 9 at night. We're not flying at night. Circling, operational very required. Okay, we don't have any NOTAMs on that part. Remain or above glide path. Yes. Northeast circling, blah blah blah. In-up table does not apply, blah blah blah. For in-up airport lights, increase, we don't care. And helicopter visibility, blah blah. Okay, good. Lights, so the particular lights that we can expect for runway 8. And again, when the visibility is low, this is important stuff. Also, just the airport diagram is not just where do I like to park, but is where can I expect the lights to be, because that could be very, very confusing, as I explained also in the previous stream. Missed approach is quite elaborate. Climb to 1300. Once we reach 1300, then climb right turn 4600 on a heading of 210, and then capture the heading or the radial 086 from Ventura towards Ventura. Missed approach requires minimum climb of 340 feet per nautical mile. So again, this is not feet per minute, because feet per minute doesn't really help us all if we fly different aircraft. If we're going faster, if we have a more powerful airplane, it goes up much faster than right? So usually at approach plates here, they talk about feet per nautical mile. So you need to convert that to your own aircraft to know, are you capable with our 172 to make that climb? Well, we can. If not, see ILS Yankee approach. Now that's interesting. That's a question that I posted on yeah, exactly, Cessna Sky Pilot. I remember. That's the question that I posted at the PilotEdge Discord. And well, Cessna Pilot helped me answer that. Thank you again. We have a ILS Zulu approach, which is just a number, I guess, of the approach. We also have a Yankee approach. And my question was, also by reviewing some other I-3 ratings on YouTube, I never heard anyone specify which approach version they used. They just say ILS 08, and the controller said, good for you, proceed. And I thought, why is that? Why shouldn't you specify the Yankee or the Zulu? And in this case, well, it depends on that climb gradient, so it's mostly related to your own aircraft performance. And I believe, I don't remember the full explanation or the full answer, but if it makes, in this case, I guess just fly the Zulu, and if you like to fly anything else, let ATC know. In our case, we just fly the Zulu, and I'm just going to say the ILS 08 approach. If I'm correct, if not, please let me know, guys. Okay, so that's the missed approach. Again, using the Z follow here, flow. So now again the plan view. Well, we already talked about this. So SMO and then the radial to Silex, pretty basic. Then the airports, well 08. So we're coming from that direction. So the power of the tower lights, the beacon, we can expect right in front of us in case we have IMC. We have good weather, but again, I'm just not really rehearsing, but this is also part of my study, actually, these preparations. I really like those. So that's why I do a more thorough read through. Yeah. Then the profile view. So yeah, we also talked about this as well. So this is part of that hold entry. 4000 Silex 3700s on the inbound portion, I guess, from the entry. So once we finished if we would fly the whole entry, if we completed our entry and we're going towards Burbank again, we can descend to 3700 at Silex, then down to 3000 until we accept the glide slope. Then we are on our way. And our missed approach point, that is CFBXN. And I guess, would that be part of my ILS procedure as well here on the GPS? I'm not quite sure. I would say, well, the GPS or the missed approach point is just the decision height altitude. So once we hit 1007 feet, if we don't have the runway in sight or any lights, we execute the missed approach. But this tells me that there's actually a point to reach, 0.7 nautical miles away from the ILS beacon thing. I think that will be part of my approach as well. When we load it up, we can have a look. Yes, and what's also interesting, because there's also a non-precision version, that's the localizer version of this runway 8 approach. So in case the glide slope information fails on us from the ILS or our equipment fails and it becomes a non-precision approach, a localizer approach. No, I think I should not associate that with this. My eye drops on this table here. The final approach fixed to the missed approach point. So depending on your speed, obviously, you take a certain amount of time to reach the missed approach point. And I guess this is in the case of when you don't have DME, I think, which is also part of a redundant kind of procedure, I guess, to always set the clock once you reach the final approach fix. Not only set your altimeter, right, do the cross check. I should remember that this time, guys. But to also set a timer, so in case your DMA fails on you when you are flying from the final fix to the missed approach point, you still know on what time you should execute the missed approach if you really are in the soup and you cannot see anything, which is really, really important. But I thought I knew how to actually use it, but I'm not quite sure whether I'm right. We're not going to use this today, I guess. I should have actually set the clock for that manner. But that's a check mark. That's a question mark, I guess, for me to further study. And that is the brief. Very, very good. And then we got Burbank Airport, nice airport, 08, and we are going to park over here. The FBO. Do we also have some names? Yeah, Millionaire or Atlantic Aviation. Yeah. Well, we started Atlantic. Let's also end up at Atlantic. So Delta 8 or Delta 7 most likely is going to be our exit. Good. Yeah, let's get going. Let me see, Todo. Mapped missed approach point are used in non-precision approaches. Okay. That's good to know, Todo. I associated that missed approach point with precision approaches as well, regardless. I need to think about that a little bit more. When flying a precision approach, you use the decision altitude. Yeah. Okay. And that was not explicitly on my mind. That's thank you for sharing that. I thought that the missed approach point was part of the precision approach too, but yeah, like I said, this decision altitude, once you reach it, you take a look. Do you see the airport or not? No, then get off. But with a non-precision approach, no, but that's weird in my mind still, Toto, because with a non-precision approach, you also have a decision height, or minimum decision altitude, which is a bit higher. But then the missed approach point does come into play. Yes, because you will go by a step down, so you reach the minimum decision altitude sooner than your missed approach point, so you still have some time to stick on that altitude and have a time to look around. And then there's a certain threshold, a certain distance from the airport where you say, okay, now if you don't see the airport from this close to the airport, then you should execute. I'm so glad and so grateful to have you guys here. Thank you. Millionaire Atlantic weird. Nope. Yes. No. Precision do not use decision altitudes. No, but they do use minimum decision altitudes, right? Just a quick look. I mean, if you look at the chart here, obviously the localizer, the non-precision approach, does have a decision height, but it's the minimum decision altitude, I think. So in that case, it works the same way as a precision altitude, in my mind at least. And I say, well, it's also, you could say here, from this moment on, once you hit 1160 feet, if you don't spot the airport, then you just execute the missed approach. But that's not true, because with a non-precision approach, you don't follow a glide slope, obviously. So you use step down. So you just go like this, right? And so that means that you hit the minimum decision altitude sooner than the actual point that you would hit when you would fly the glide slope. And this is the time, I guess, missed approach points, where that table is about, what that table is about. And that's why the missed approach point is only relevant for a non-precision approach, if I understand you correctly. No, apparently. Minimum descent altitude. Also, that was not explicitly on my mind. So you got so you got the decision altitude, and you got a descent altitude. Yeah, and that makes sense, I guess, also with my last description, because once you hit that altitude, this last altitude, this is not a decision. The decision comes there. So minimum descent altitude does make sense. Interesting, guys. Thanks. These are little misconceptions, and also such a big part of why I stream. To have knowledgeable pilots and real-world pilots and sim pilots help me. Interesting. Thank you very much. And perhaps I should still further study, and I might still have some misconceptions left, but let's get going. Alrighty. Let's continue. Let's hop into the cockpit. Well, yes, let's get rid of that. Anything else? Let's do a cold and dark. Parking brakes are not set. They are set right now. Yeah, fire. Door closed, windows closed. DLT is set to auto. Flap lever is up, and our flaps are actually up. My mixture is working. My throttle is working. Trim is set. My fuel tanks can set to both. Cutoff is in. Alternate is in. Avionics are off. Everything's off except for the beacon. Master switch is off, and my ignition switch is off as well. Got my radios here are off. Doesn't really matter that much, but they are off. Sounds good to me. Fuel selector, flap lever, avionics off, master off, magnetos off. Yes, interior inspection. Batteries off. We got an on, I mean. We've got enough fuel. That's good. We flip on the batteries and I immediately look at my transponder. It's off. That's good. And VFR. Okay. Then I can turn on my stacks. I can also hear the gyro spin. Electrical gyro for the turn indicator. So that's good. My ADF. We don't going to use it, but it's working. Then my GPS. Let's see if I can also bring it up. Yes, I can. Yeah, Toto. I gotcha. Database is kind of up to date. And we got the deflections and satellite reception. Very good. Then audio panels looks good. GPS is fine. Unshaded panel looks good as well. 56 is goodish. We should reset to 2.1 and a bit. 2.1 and a bit. Which makes sense because we're actually aligned with the runway. Kind of aligned with the runway. Okay, and degrees, fuel again checked, and everything is good. Alrighty, I should turn down my flaps, and then I think I completed it. After fuel quantity, yes, flaps fully extended, transponder VFR and off checked, avionics illuminated, current, and on-shader panel verified. Good. Then we turn stuff off. Very good. And we go outside. Checked, baggage door closed, elevators, boom, boom. Antennas, rudders. So guys, we have the option just to turn a bit of music on the background. So some casual music, if you like, I will turn it on. If you don't, then I don't. I always fly with music on when I'm flying off stream, but I can mention that some of you have music already playing in the background, and then if I play music as well, that might be disruptive. So let me know. Just let me know in chat if not, and otherwise I will turn it on in just a sec. Rudders, that was a little bit. Yeah, it looks good. Tie down is removed. ELT is secure. Flaps have a bit of a wiggle. Ailerons look good. Tie down is removed. Fuel quantity is good. No contamination. Chocks removed. Wheels look good. Oil again still enough and good color. Prop looks good. Intakes looks fine. Strut looks good. Fuel again on the other side as well. Let's remove the pitot tube. Cover. Landing lights. Taxi lights look all fine and intact. Free and moving looks good. I cannot wait to start the aircraft development for the 172, guys. It's already rising, yeah, still need a lot to learn, and especially after getting, well, not really frustrated, actually getting inspired by the work that Toto is doing with his TBM. But man, I'd like to see those features even partially for the 172 that we will be making. And again, I don't have any knowledge in or experience with programming stuff, which is also a big chunk of the aircraft development or aircraft flying experience, to be honest. These kinds of screens that you can interact with, just aside from the artistic part of aircraft development, which I also really dig, so making it look pretty and realistic. Man, very inspirational. But again, I think, oh my gosh, I don't have the knowledge to do that, and also to delve into how to program that stuff and using C and stuff. Finish. Good. Double check. Exterior. Parking measures removed. Control surface checked. Fuel quantity, oil quantity, and quality. Avionics off. Yeah, that's for the next parts. Those are still off. Good. And my seat belts are not set. Let's get going, guys. I-3 rating. I don't know, Digital, if it's C, but I think I remember someone saying, perhaps even Toto, that it was C. I'm not quite sure. Ain't no present time to see. That's true, Toto. That's true. That is true. Yeah. I'm curious. Hoping I will pass this one. And again, look outside, guys. There's a Kilo in the mic. Wouldn't it be great, again, just to reiterate on that really cute announcement, that our liveries, our custom liveries, are automatically, seamlessly shared online, so we can actually see each other's custom liveries while we're flying on PilotEdge. I think that would be really, really great. You can see, hey, there is Papa Hotel Tango Indy Mike. And when we do those group flights and we park on the ramp, you can actually see 5, 6, or 10 different airplanes in terms of liveries. I think that's really, really cool. So again, encourage, cheer Kim on, or hop over to our Discord. You can find a link on our information pane and join the conversation. Okay, let's start this puppy up. So again, batteries on, no circuit breakers, everything is still off. Yes, a bit of throttle in, fuel pump on, Positive fuel flow. 2, 3. That's good enough. Again, is anyone walking around? No people flow, even though we don't have Orbix yet. Nope, clear prop. Mixture full in, back to both. 1200, nice. We already got oil pressure in the green. Let's turn on our alternator already. There's a charge on the ammeter, very good. Let's lean for that peak in RPM. There it was, and now it backs off. So here it is, and back to 1000. Good. No initiated messages. No. Flaps up. Avionics on. There we go. Let's turn on our transponder 1200 VFR and our Garmin as well. Well, guys, if that would be great as well. By the way, Digital and Kim, we could join as a team, and we could create the 172. If you guys are experienced with how to program that stuff, we can make something very, very cool, I think. Anyways, yeah. So there we go. There's the GPS online. Still everything is set very, very good. We can now call up ADC. I'd like. So iPads, air server. Are you kidding me? Come on. Oh, air server, air server, air server. Okay, and now the question always is, should I reset my iPad so it reconnects with air server, or should I quit air server while keeping my iPad on? Let's do my iPad first because it's much more easy. It's always a bit frustrating, this part. We are connected. I have to tinker with this, guys. Just a second. No, no luck. Thank you, air server. Then I'm going to stop mirroring. Let's give it one try. I get all kinds of notifications here. Air server. Exit. And there it went. And let's... Ta-da-da. There it is again. Now please, do me a favor and just work. Thinking, 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 thinking. If not, then bad luck, but... I always think that ForeFlight and with the chart and my notes is a really good addition to my stream, so it's always, it always bugs me when it doesn't just works. One second. Screen mirroring. Good. That looks good. It connected. Please work. And it doesn't. Okay, sorry guys. ForeFlight air server just decided to quit once more. So I'll just try to talk out loud here to let you know what I'm doing. Okay, so frequencies, obviously. So I'm looking at the airport diagram. ADIS first, 126.0.
Orange County, John Wayne Information Lima.
Lima.
2100 Zulu weather. Wind 030 at 5, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 9900 broken, temperature 14, dew point -4. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runways 20 right, 20 left, departing.
No, we have Lima, I know. Good. Then we're at the east, clearance 118.0. Thanks for the follow, Bucky. Thanks. And east 120.8. Good. Let's turn up the volume there.
Air 5 Echo Mike, traffic is just left you 12 o'clock, 4 miles northbound, Skyhawk at 4,000.
Burbank, okay.
0 Delta Whiskey traffic, 11 o'clock, 4 miles southbound, Robin 5,000.
We have Lima, we're at Atlantic.
It's good. Slowly moving to your 10 there.
Hey, I think that might be a TBN that we are. No, well, it's a bit weird of a reflection there.
Contact departure. Departure A1041.
Charlie Tower, Scott 62503, 20 right at Kilo, ready for takeoff.
It's busy at John Wayne.
62503, John Wayne Tower, running 20 right at Kilo, clear for takeoff.
20 right, clear for takeoff, 503.
John Wayne clearance, good day. Skyhawk, Papa Hotel, Tango Mike with Atlantic with Lima IFR to Burbank for the I-3 rating, please.
Grumman 1041, still got departure, radar contact, call maintain 4,000. Calling Oxnard Tower, say again.
Oxnard Tower, Piper 124 Alpha Golf.
It is 733.
Piper 124 Alpha Golf, Oxnard Tower, on course approved, runway 25, cliff takeoff.
Did he hear me? That's the
Cliff
question.
takeoff, runway 25, on course 5.
I think he did.
4 Alpha Golf.
Who was that calling for IFR?
That's Papa Hotel Tango Mike at John Wayne Atlantic with Lima IFR to Burbank for the I-3 rating, please.
PHTIM, John Wayne clearance. Good morning, cleared to Burbank Airport on departure flighting 210, radar vector Seal Beach as filed, maintain 2,000. Expect 4,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 4345.
Clear to Burbank, heading 210, radar vector Cecile Beach and as filed. Climb to 2, expect 4 after 10, 128.1 for departure, and 4345 for the squawk. Papa Hotel Mike.
PHTIM, read back correct.
4345.
Just
set,
a note,
4345.
you should always overfly your departure.
Okay, let's go to ground already, and we can set tower.
So even when you get a departure heading,
Most likely 20 left, 119.9.
When your IFR, it's either 400 feet or the departure end of the runway.
Roger, 503.
Okay, good. And that means that we are cleared, so we can set our route actually. Boom. So let's do that. Flight plan. Seal Beach.
Contact SoCal approach 124.35. Grumman 041 flighting 270.
Then Popper.
Sky 62503 SoCal departure, radar contact.
10 Mike ground, good afternoon. Lattice 5 Mike Whiskey, IFR to Torrance.
Pop. Popper intersection. Good distance.
Lattice 5 Mike Whiskey.
SMO.
Santa Monica ground, clear to Torrance Airport on departure flight, runway heading. Until crossing Santa Monica 31, correction, the Los Angeles 310 radial. then flighting 265 without delay.
Santa Monica. Boom.
Radar vector Santa Monica
Accept.
as
Good
filed,
distance.
maintain
And then
3,000, 25,000 once
Silex.
there is departure.
But Silex is
Departure
part of the
frequency
approach.
125.2, squawk
So should I set it
3243.
in here or should I just set... We'll have a look. K Burbank. I mean, we already know what approach we're going to get. Burbank. So now because I set my destination airport, the GNS already knows what I'm up to. Approach. We already get Burbank, which is actually not that much of an advantage, but still. The Zulu, that's what I meant. Silex, or we can also just pick, I guess, SMO. Let's just do that. Load, yes. Now we got SMO twice, I guess. Yeah. So clear and clear. Boom. SMO Silex, yes. Looks good. Like to verify. That seems about right. Okay. Yeah, I cannot show you on the map, unfortunately. So there's a part of my en route flight, en route chunk of my en route flight, where we actually fly radials. We also filed that particular. We also filed radial flying, and I was thinking about obviously flying this at slant alpha, which is perfectly fine with such a basic flight. But with the GNS again, I'd like to also study the GNS, but I need to be very careful of how to fly radials with my GNS, obviously. We can also switch between GPS mode and VLOG mode, but this is interesting in terms of GPS management, at least in my mind. Now I know that the particular radials that we're going to fly for this tech route are actually just radials, or actually legs that are connected between two fixes. So that makes life a lot more easy because we can just activate particular legs as part of our GPS. But it's good to get an idea of how you need to manage your GPS to fly those particular legs, or radials in this case. Either way, we can always switch to VLOG mode and go slant alpha and just fly radials with the VOR. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay, so we got our GPS in. Then I would like to have some frequencies nonetheless. Seal Beach is going to be 115.7. 115.7. Was already set, yeah. And then we're going to go to Santa Monica. So that means that for the standby, I can already set my ILS 109.5. So that's the ILS already in the standby. Good. Then for my nav2, I'm going to set Santa Monica. So first we're going to fly to Seal Beach. Seal Beach, exactly, which is now set in the nav1 active, and then Santa Monica, which is going to be 110.8. 110.8 in the nav2. We don't have a reading just yet. Should also just listen. Yes, that was Seal Beach identified. Should make that a habit as well to always listen. Obviously here now with the GNS, you can see it's already identified. Here you can see the Seal Beach indicator, but with an F2 we don't see it, so it's good to get that going. Okay, yes, that's Santa Monica on an F2. Now as part of the missed approach, we're going to use Ventura. So 108.2 I'm going to set in the standby. 108.2, so we can switch while we are approaching our approach. We're going to reset. After we passed Santa Monica, we can already set Ventura as our missed approach to get that radial and get going. And that's pretty much it for now. Yes, anything else? Well, what I can already do is set the, even though we're now in GPS mode, I can set this to 125, which is going to be one of the radials that we're going to fly towards Santa Monica. Even though we're going to fly GPS in case GPS fails on us or whatever shit is going to happen, we're going to get another radial to fly. I already have it set pretty much. Toto, if you intend to use the VLOG guidance mode, you must listen to it with your ears. Roger that. Yeah, makes sense. The waypoint field is just what you entered into your flight plan. The GNS does not have an audio ident functionality. Yes. Thanks, Toto. Okay. Good. I think we're prepped. So, midfield run-up. No. Checklist. Mixture right. Transponder. Verify set. 4345 set. Radio set. OBS is set. GPS set. Instruments. We didn't reset those. 5, 6, 2, 1. That's good. Our attitude indicator can be resets. Engine gauges, we are already in the green, so we're ready to taxi. Taxi diagram. Well, midfield run-up I cannot show you guys, but go to Sky Vector, John Wayne, airport diagram, and you can look along. Service winds. I don't know, we didn't really listen to the ATIS that much, which is bad. There it is. Well, it actually favors to left, I guess. Weather again, we want a good weather engine for X-Plane, at least I want. We already at ground, went to 0.8 for east. Good. We could already start a taxi, we're still in a non-movement area, but still.
1041, you can pick up the weather, contact point, go approach 124.7.
And John Wayne ground, Sky Papa Hotel Tango Mike at Atlantic with Lima, taxi to the midfield run-up, please.
Papa Hotel Tango Mike, John Wayne ground, midfield run-up, taxi midfield run-up via Alpha.
Via Alpha to the midfield run-up, thanks Papa Hotel Mike. Okay.
Plus 5 Mike Whiskey, contact departure.
Brake test, looks good.
Whiskey.
That's a wave to Kim.
Approach 128.1.
Kilo India Mike. Our Skyhawk 172 here to the right of us has already been left.
Plus 5 Mike Whiskey,
slip indicator, turn indicator. Kim.
4000.
See you soon on Burbank. Heading indicator, everything looks good. Going to the left. There we go.
Charlie Tower, Diamond 82 Sierra Bravo at the east hangars with the weather, looking for close traffic.
And there we go, guys. I-3.
Lumberg Tower, November 208, Charlie X-ray holding short 27. Alright, 2 Sierra Bravo, Sunless ground, runway 29er taxi via Alpha. May or may not be able to do it. I'm talking to like 15 airplanes right now.
It's busy on PilotEdge.
Actually, let's cancel that. Yeah, we'll do this a little later.
Cool.
It should be okay right now.
Here's the southeast
right
midfield run-up that we're going to skip.
Alright, Cat 3 by the way.
Cat 3, no problem.
Staff call sign abbreviation. First letter, 2 letters isn't used in the OS. Ah, roger.
Low class runway 27 approach.
Photo India Mike. Did I abbreviate it? I did not know, Toto, that I was actually abbreviating my... I shouldn't.
208 Charlie X-ray, Lumber Tower, runway 27, clip takeoff.
I'm also...
Takeoff from 78 Charlie X-ray.
Eating up, I guess, that first chunk of Papa Hotel Tango Mike.
5 Mike Whiskey, turn right, direct Santa Monica VOR.
It sounds like I'm saying Tango India Mike. But...
Departure 134.9.
Okay. There comes the midfield run-up. Oh. And I, again, adore John Wayne scenery here.
John Wayne, altimeter 2984. Carbon 1041, point Magoo approach. Turn 5 degrees, correction, you're 7 miles from Kudak. Turn 5 degrees left, maintain 4,000 till establish local ILS, clear ILS. Correction, maintain 3,400 till establish local ILS, clear ILS, runway 25 approach.
Notice that my X-plane is a bit choppy. Don't know what's going on. Hoping that we're not downloading a new Windows update while we're streaming, because that's usually bad news. Let me see. So we are here, obviously. Engine is already greenish in terms of temperature, all temperatures, so that's good. Mixture full in.
Cessna 62503, contact SoCal approach
1800. No non-shaded messages. Vacuums in the green. Pressure still good. Left mag. Good enough drop. Back to both. Right mag. Good enough drop. And back to both. Still going strong. Idle. Oil pressure is still in the green. No non-shaded messages. Good. Let's also check for our controls. Trim, rudders, looks good too. Let's double check here, flight controls. Yeah, we can already set our trim here. Flaps, not yet. And estimator engine, yeah, that's for departure. Good. Yeah.
5 Echo Mike, maintain 120 knots.
John Wayne ground, Sky Hotel Tango Mike at the midfield run up, continue our taxi.
PHTIM, runway 20 left, taxi via Charlie Kilo.
20 left via Charlie and Kilo, Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Okay, good. I'm already familiar with the airport, so I know where to go. I can also turn this thing off.
Flighting 240, maintain 3,800 to establish localize, equivocalize, runway 27 approach.
Also, small things that I learned recently. Silly little things that I should have known already, be knowledgeable of a long time ago.
Might be advised it is a localize, there will be no glide slope.
Is the fact that a taxiway sign, the yellow signs, especially it triggers my memory because I landed on 20 left here and I got off, and there are two parallel taxiways. There's also one here and there's one here, obviously. And I saw a taxi sign over there, this one for example. And I thought that that sign was telling me on the runway that this was Alpha, I believe. I thought that this was Alpha, but the thing that is mentioned on the taxi diagram actually refers to the one behind the taxi diagram, the taxi sign. So here, Alpha, we are now not on Alpha. Alpha is actually the other taxiway behind the taxi diagram. So yeah, there was a slight deviation on my part, and I thought, oh yeah, good to know. These are tiny little things that I guess you forget about, or I never explicitly considered.
5 Charlie Delta at Revo, contact tower 118.3.
Okay, don't see anyone on the runway, don't see anyone on final, I don't hear anyone on final. We're at 56 MSL, so that means at 1,000, before 1,000 we should ditch our airplane in case of an engine out somewhere 60 degrees in front of us.
1 Foxtrot Romeo, contact departure. Departure 1 Foxtrot.
And I need to review my notes here and set my departure frequency and stuff, but...
John Wayne clearance, Hyper 90907 Whiskey requesting a destination for the I-4 dealer's choice.
281 Foxtrot Romeo, SoCal departure, ready to contact, maintaining 4,000.
There we go. 1,000, again, that's, I don't want flaps.
907 Whiskey.
128.1.
Yes, it is.
Santa Monica.
Good. And I shouldn't have done that actually. First tower. Tower is 119.9. I already set that. 119.9. Switch. Now we're on tower, and now I can set my departure. And that was 128.1. Alright, departure in. Good. 2,000 initially, then 4,000. 210 on the heading. Good. Are we synced to 4-ish? No, we're not at all. 2, 4, and a bit more. There we go. We've got to read. I know what I'm doing. 2, 1, 0. Radar vector seal beach. I'm going to see after that. Good. Landing lights on. Strobe lights on. And we are on tower. And John Wayne Tower, Sky Hotel Tango Mike. Something short 20 left at Kilo, ready for departure IFR.
That's 503, one more time.
Always difficult not to step on anyone.
That's 503, thank you. PHTIM, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 left at Kilo, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 20 left, Papa Delta Mike.
Should
have said at Kilo as well.
Approach 128.1.
Alright, there we go. 2,000 initially. No one again on final. And no one is on the runway.
Sail me ground, dated November 820 Bravo, ready for...
We're at 2242.
Holding short at 29.
In time. Mixture full in, everything is set. Good. Let's go. RPM looks goodish.
Expect Alice runway 29 right approach, altimeter 29
Engine still in the green, airspeed is alive. 50.
Thank you. Right 20 Bravo, San Luis Tower, runway 29 equipped for takeoff, left close.
There we go.
Left close traffic is approved, report midfield downwind each time.
Tap on the brakes.
Approved for departure 29, report midfield, close traffic, freight 20 Bravo.
5 Echo Mike, contact Limber
Hey
Tower,
Cirrus, good to see ya.
Limburg Tower, Robin 845.
Still straight ahead, 300 feet.
Robin 845, Echo Mike.
400
Limburg
feet,
Tower,
let's go.
27 could land, number 2.
2-1.
4 miles of trail.
2000.
Roger, we'll try to Cirrus number 2, clear to land, runway 27, 5 Echo Mike.
1 Foxtrot Romeo, turn 5 degrees.
Expecting
to the
that
left,
switch to
maintain
departure.
6,000, traffic 1 o'clock and 6 miles opposite direction, Skyhawk at 5,000.
We're expecting radar vectors to Seal Beach, but most likely
Cessna 503 traffic 1 o'clock.
we can go to Popper already, or to even to Santa Monica.
Skylane actually.
Okay, engine is still looking
Charlie X-ray, clear direct to Oceanside.
good.
Alright, 1041, contact the Oxnard Tower, 134.905, see ya.
Keep my landing lights on still.
Oxnard Tower, Piper 124, Alpha Golf 10 miles east. Full stop landing with the weather.
Speed is a bit low.
124 Alpha Golf. You say you're 10 miles east?
Affirmative, 10 miles east, request straight in, runway 25.
Come on, be precise.
124 Alpha Golf.
On your headings.
Tower, make straight in, runway 25, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 25, 124 Alpha Golf.
All clearance, November 8.
500 feet to go.
Bravo, IFR San Diego, India.
71 Whiskey Bravo, Palma, clearance, stand by that.
That's me.
Pilatus 5 Mike Whiskey, flight heading 030, maintain 180 knots. PHCIM, contact departure.
Departure, Papa Delta Mike. Let's wait a minute. So departure, Sky Papa Tango Mike is climbing through 1,700 for 2,000.
Terminate 104 Oxnard Tower, you're following Skyhawk on about a 7-mile final. Runway
200 feet to go. Let's see what he's going to say.
PHCIM, SoCal departure, ready to contact. Flighting 270, climb maintain 4,000.
270, 4,000, Papa Delta Mike.
Other aircraft, stay again.
Good.
Roger that.
Always a bit tricky when you get assigned, or you're chatting with ADC just at a decision moment where you need to level off, or
heading 330, join
and I'm still in the process of doing that just on the go. I'm still noting ATC instructions down, and that makes stuff a little bit more complicated. Come on. Stand right turn here. 270. Good.
Who's that calling?
We're going really like a rocket here. Let's go a bit more shallow.
Runway 29 to click the option.
Still going strong.
PHCIM, join the Santa Monica 125 radial.
Santa Monica 125 radial, Papa Delta Mike. Okay.
5 Mike Whiskey, flighting 280.
Flight plan.
280 plus 5 Mike Whiskey.
En route.
Approach 128.1.
Does that work? If I now hit.
I stepped on somebody there. Sorry. Go ahead.
Menu. Activate lag. Popper. Yes. Activate.
Yeah, 612 Los Angeles. It's going to be lucky one arrival.
5,500 climbing for 6.
Yeah, it's over there. Now this is a great moment where I can switch to vlog.
281 Fox Romeo, SoCal approach.
So now we're flying the actual radio on the nav1.
Resume on navigation.
The Popper Santa Monica lag is still far away.
Direct Del Toro, 1 Foxtrot Romeo.
So it makes sense now for me just to switch
altimeter
over.
is,
So 125 was already set. Luckily I did that.
1 Foxtrot. PHTIM verify Santa Monica 125 radio.
Yeah, we're inbound for capturing the 125 radial to Santa Monica, Papa Potomac.
PHTIM, fly heading 270, join Santa Monica 125 radio.
270, and then capture the Santa Monica 125 radio, Papa Potomac.
5 Mike Whiskey, join the localizer.
Do I get what I'm getting wrong here?
310 to join.
275,
310, join the localizer.
Okay, join localizer.
125.
5 Mike Whiskey, 3 miles final.
My radial is to the right.
2000 until established, localized, clear ILS runway 1, correction, ILS runway 29 right approach.
Okay, 2000 until established, clear ILS 29 right, 5 Mike Whiskey.
Santa Monica, he said.
503 traffic, 1 o'clock, 3 miles northbound, caravan at 6,000.
But south, no. We're going towards Santa Monica, right?
6 Whiskey Tango to maintain level 240.
Oh, wait a minute.
4.85.
Wait a minute. That's an interesting one. 111, yeah. Exactly.
6 Whiskey Tango, the altitude flight level 240.
There's 4,000 already. Ha! I read about someone making the same mistake. I think it was on the glide slope. There's 4,000. So the issue is, which is kind of like navigation, cockpit management, I guess.
5 Mike Whiskey, contact Orange Tower 133.07. See ya.
I set my Santa Monica on my nav2, not my nav1, so I was using the Seal Beach. I was perfectly aware situational what I would like to do. I searched for Popper and Santa Monica, but the mistake I made was that I associated Santa Monica with my nav1. Interesting. So, thinking about a way to
5 Echo Mike, taxi signature.
Avoid that.
Via Charlie, and that Cirrus, he's kind of, he doesn't look like he's off the taxi.
In the future, not quite sure.
In my view, he might be in his scenery there, so use caution.
Okay, 4,000, let's do our checks. 2300s, let's lean for ground, I don't like to climb. Radial is slowly coming in. Where does he slide? Gyro drifts.
646 Whiskey Tango Los Angeles to maintain 9,000.
Interesting.
Canyon altimeter 3025.
Ah, Kim, it was you who failed it, yeah. In my case, I was perfectly aware of what I needed to do, but I simply did not reconsider the fact that my nav1 was set to Seal Beach.
PHTIM, you got it figured out?
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong nav. My bad. Coming up to the 125 radio.
Yep, anytime you get a heading and then you just get an instruction to join, you're not permitted to turn from your heading until you're centered or about to, or intercepting.
Yeah, I totally understand, but I was mistaking my nav2 for my nav1 for my Santa Monica VOR, but I was actually flying towards Seal Beach, so totally my bad.
I get it, gotcha. Great, Charlie X-ray, you bet.
Now, we have to see whether that's a fail or not, but it's a valuable lesson.
Charlie X-ray contact, SoCal approach 128.1.
And I'm thinking about what's a strategy for me to not make that mistake once more.
SoCal approach 127.4.
And I should reconsider always when I try to capture a radial, take a look at my radio frequencies, or...
208, Charlie X-ray 6000.
208, Charlie X-ray, SoCal approach, John altimeter 2984.
84.
Alright, Charlie X-ray, climb maintain 10,000.
Climb maintain 10,000.
And I think this happened to me a couple of times.
0 Delta Whiskey, how do you read?
0 Delta Whiskey, we're going to go ahead and cancel IFR.
0 Delta Whiskey, IFR cancellation received, squawk 3 far for exchange approved, see ya.
See ya, thanks for the help, Jeff.
For 761 Romeo, Las Vegas ground, go ahead.
Well, Lamar, so what's your take on prepared? Good. Prepared is really good. I was prepared for SimPilot as well. For a long time. I actually started my channel with prepared and A2A. Wonderful way A2A.
Airport's always call clearance. Contact clearance delivery.
But then I discovered X-Plane.
Grade 86 Juliet Alpha, go ahead.
And also sim coders. And the wonderful X-Plane community.
Juliet Alpha, go ahead.
And photoreal scenery. And then I thought, X-Plane. Alright, landing lights off. Again, we are in sync with our headings. Altimeter is still okay.
Grade 86 Juliet Alpha, roger. Rolling 27, taxi via Alpha.
Yeah, not really a biggie, but let's see if our cruising still good. Cruising speed. Outside temperature is also still good. Fuel quantity is good. EGT can be better. That's too much. It was too lean, I guess.
PHKIM, gentlemen, clearance be advised I have a PHTIM on another frequency. Cleared Burbank Airport.
That's Kim.
On departure flighting 210. Radar vector Seal Beach, then S-file. Maintain 2000.
He is doing the same rating as me. The I-3 rating.
28.1, squawk 726.
EGT is good. Temp circuit pressure is good. Vacuum is good. We're still charging. No circuit breaks and stuff. Lights are good. No pitot heat. And we're still going. What are we doing? We're flying the radial on my nav2. God damn it. I totally understand if that's a fail. But it's a silly mistake, but it happened to me several times. And again, there's not a there's not a strategy. A strategy for me to prevent that from happening again. Okay, well, we're flying that radial. You can also see on the GPS that that popper SMO leg is coming up, which is actually also part of the 125 radial. Keep on the radial there, already 1 dot away, which is not good. Again, we're flying on hand. Also got a bit of a wind, if you can see on the GPS as well. Yes, 7 knots. Okay, this is nice.
Viper 9907 Whiskey, gentlemen, clearance to Santa Monica Airport on departure fly heading 230.
But I'm interested in the approach already.
And as filed.
It is 134.5.
After departure. Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 2316.
Bob Hope Airport Burbank Information Lima. 2200 Zulu weather. Wind 030 at 5. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 9200 Broken.
07 Whiskey, read back correct.
3. Dew point -4. Altimeter 2992.
Bravo, runway 29, click the option.
Arriving runway 33.
92. Good. Creeping in slowly on that needle, I guess because of that crosswind component, so let's go a bit more strong with our nose into the wind. Altitude is pretty good for once.
PHIM, contact SoCal approach 134.9er. Be advised I have a PHKIM on another frequency.
134.9er, yeah, we are aware. Bob doesn't work.
It'll be after the downwind that you get your visual approach clearance. I got to hand you off at 5 here.
And SoCal approach, Kite Papa Delta Tango Mike is level 4000.
Papa Hotel Tango Indy Mike, SoCal approach, LA altimeter 2985.
85, Papa Delta Mike. 85. Makes a difference. Slowly creeping in on that needle, that's good. Thanks for the follow, right tag. Thanks. Hope you're all having a great Sunday, guys.
Robin 845 Echo Mike.
I am. Again, still fascinated by that mistake. Very.
Yeah, sorry to keep you waiting, stand by.
Very basic mistake. how can I incorporate that in my flow? I mean, the nav1 I set for my first fix, the nav2 for my second. So therefore I should have known that when ATC refers me to a second fix or a fix further on, that I should look to my second nav, not my first one. So I guess I already had a scheme in place, but I didn't use it.
Mission Bay direct, maintain 3000, expect 4000. 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 119.6, squawk 7220.
Bit gusty.
1 Whiskey Bravo, read back correct. Cessna 503 flighting 090, vector runway 27, and contact SoCal approach 124.35.
Okay, good. My GPS is coming in as well, almost at popper.
Call sign with rebacks.
Yeah, that makes sense. Nav1, first leg, active fix, and the Nav2 is for the one beyond that one. That's also how I set it up. And so mentally I should have worked with those in the same order as well. And I should have looked at my Nav2. Yeah, interesting. This is so cool.
Other aircraft, go ahead.
And I also like that these kinds of mistakes are very likely also made by real-world students, VFR or IFR.
Bravo,
even though I'm at home now with my sim community friends and my virtual flying here, mentally it's quite the same.
Copenhagen 1041, Oxnard Tower. Yeah, I lost you there for a little bit. You back?
LAX is coming up.
Grumman 041, contact departure 124.7.
Okay, we already got the altimeter.
612 Los Angeles.
We got the weather.
2988.
So I'm looking at my approach plate here. Again from Santa Monica, ILS runway 08. From Santa Monica, yeah, the entry. Are we going to fly a full approach or not? That's the question. Will it blend?
Disregard that. Disregard. Not for you. Other aircraft ticket.
Or are we going to get vectors? Most likely we're going to get vectors, but I'm not quite sure. Come on, keep it 4,000, Timmy boy.
Alright, 628 off SoCal approach, squawk 3437, ident.
Alright, that means that we're now on that popper radial. So if I switch it to GPS,
6 miles north of Ramona Airport, the Palomar altimeter 295.
which is interesting actually, because on my nav2 now, I'm actually quite on the mark.
Cessna 503 flighting 090, San Diego Airport.
But if I look at my GPS oriented needle, my nav1, I'm actually quite off of the mark.
503 cleared, visual approach runway 27.
Now I'm flying the 125 radial, and I believe that's the exact leg that I'm flying over right now, but apparently for my GPS there's a bit of a difference. Why are we going with 500 feet down?
Whiskey jumping ground runway 20 right, taxi via Bravo Kilo.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, Toto. And thanks, Kim.
Traffic.
You must request for the vectors?
Southwestbound,
okay.
6,600 type unknown.
That's weird. On the I-3 rating page, it doesn't say.
Traffic 1 o'clock, 3 miles southwestbound, altitude K 6,600, type and on.
I believe this is
Charlie X-ray contact, SoCal
also one of the transitions, VFR transitions. 500 feet lower, I think. Or higher, I don't know. Where we also cross over the runway ends here, or beginnings of LAX.
Terminate 1041, point me good departure, your radar contact, say intentions.
Come on, keep on the radio. Fly from SNA, request vectors. Oh, Toto, my bad.
041, expect further clearance 1.
Okay, thanks for reminding me, buddy. I appreciate it.
42 and 3/4, advise when you're ready.
Okay, but again, briefing. Already did a proper briefing at the ground. When I'm here Santa Monica, then Silex, then probably that entry, but we're going to get vectors, so we're not most definitely are not going to fly that entry. $3,000 feet, yeah, but then it's going to be.
PHTIM after Santa Monica flighting 300, vector Burbank Airport, and pick up weather.
After Santa Monica 300, and well, we already have the weather for Burbank.
Your approach request?
Vectors for the ILS 08 approach into Burbank, please.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Contact SoCal approach 135.4.
Santa Monica, and we are, well, we currently have the nav 2 still in play there. Obviously, we have our GPS, what already tells us how much we 5 nautical miles before we reach SMO.
Our 281 Foxtrot Romeo, SoCal approach, the Ontario altimeter 2987, pickup weather, advise approach request.
Let's speak down on LAX. With our 172, it's so cool.
Alpha Hotel Kilo India Mike, Charlie Ground Runway
Kilo India Mike.
Taxi via Alpha Hotel, Charlie Kilo.
Again, double check. 30.
9612 contact.
Altimeter is still good. Speed is goodish. Outside air temperature is good in combination with moist and stuff. No pitot heat. Quantity is good. EGT is good. Fuel flow is good. Temps, pressure, vacuum, amps, circuit breakers, blah blah blah. Lights, we'll keep them as is. And everything is set. We are flying that radial. We're a bit off actually. And after Santa Monica, we're going to fly that heading of 300. And we can expect vectors for 08 ILS. Already have the. We can already switch it actually. Yeah, we're still flying VLOC, right? Yeah, 095. Come on.
612 SoCal approach cleared, localizer 127 approach San Diego altimeter 298.
095, yeah, that's set in the nav 1, that's good. Ventura we could set actually, 08.2, so nav 2 we reset now.
7 whiskey, John ground, say again. You should be with tower for the, actually disregard that. There's 07 whiskey, contact tower 126.8. There's 281 Foxtrot Romeo, expect that.
Doesn't do anything, but just for help. Should actually be 079.
07 whiskey, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right at Kilo, cliff to take off.
Santa Monica coming up, 0.76.
Right, 71 whiskey, Bravo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, cliff to take off.
All right. Santa Monica 300. Come on, keep on altitude there. 300, I meant.
Great Charlie X-ray, contact Los Angeles Center 125.27.
Now 300 is not that far off of 311, part of the chart.
Golf Tango, contact SoCal approach 127.4.
But I guess...
Alpha, contact SoCal approach 126.7.
No. Silex is not the final approach fix.
Curve 20 Charlie X-ray, Los Angeles Center, climb maintain 14,000, Palmdale altimeter
4,000. This is such a nice area here in front of us. The Santa Monica area, the Ventura side there to Camarillo. Gorgeous photo reel. Okay, so we already have Lima. 4,000. ILS is set. We're still on the GPS. What we can do is already activate vectors to final.
Other aircraft column taken.
There we go.
Kinger 701 Golf Tango SoCal approach Catalina altimeter 29991.
Ventura is already set.
Contact SoCal approach 134.2.
134.2 Papa Delta Mike. Be very careful not following up on the instructions for Kilo India Mike. And SoCal approach, Papa Delta Mike is level 4000.
Viper 07 Whiskey contact departure. PHTIM SoCal approach, Burbank altimeter 2986, expect ILS runway 8 approach.
86 for the altimeter, and we expect 08 ILS by what I'll take it. 86, done.
PHKIM, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 left.
This is funny. Okay, let's turn on our landing lights. We're coming closer. At least, yeah, it's still far off, but I want to turn on my landing lights, so there we go.
62503, where are you parking?
Burbank is to the right of us, somewhere around there.
It's on the north side. You exited to the south. You want to go back across here? And that was a question.
Thanks for the follow, Balamir.
It's always going to be in
Thank you.
form.
Appreciate it.
You will never get a runway crossing that is not formatted as cross runway, such and such. 503, make a 180.
Now, because we're on vectors, I can just switch.
4, and you can
we're already on VLOC, yeah.
So that's a 07 Whiskey flighting 010.
We can just fly on the ordinary slant alpha way. We can also use the GPS. Same thing.
Cessna 503 again. You will never receive an instruction to cross a runway that is not formatted cross runway and then a number. This was for the I-4, correct? That's 503 is the I-4 pass. Yes, to Cessna 503, cross runway 27 at Bravo 4. 1 Whiskey Bravo, contact departure.
For
HKM, contact departure.
For situational awareness, the GPS is really, really handy, obviously.
Alright, 71 Whiskey Bravo, SoCal departure,
now,
contact, clear recognition,
Buddy,
4000.
or Buddy, that's our final approach fix.
Sound like somebody's calling, it sounds like a 434 X-ray or something like that.
So he's probably going to give us a vector, a 30-degree, 40-degree angle onto Budda. And 3,000 feet, I guess. And we're going to grab...
some kind of departure rate of contact.
Then we're going to grab the flight sign.
434 X-ray, I think it was. You got to say your call sign again. I didn't get your call sign. Our 4349er X-ray, San Luis Tower, and stay in position. Our 4349er X-ray, make straight in runway 29er, report 3 mile final. PHAM flighting 340.
340, Papa Tango Mike. There it is.
That was not for PHKIM, that was for PHTIM. You guys gotta listen for that.
Yep.
Papa Hotel Kilo India Mike, flighting 270.
And that forces him to actually use
125 radio.
the right alphabet. 340, so you can see heading towards that localizer path.
Whoever's calling radio check, you're not that loud, but I couldn't tell if you're close
Tower.
if you were stepped on second.
118.7.
Okay, yeah, you're loud and clear.
On the
You're just
standby. Lights are on, mixture still leaned, that's good.
Air 07 Whiskey on your present heading, join Victor 8. Resume 1
3,000 on buddy. I need to remember to cross-check my altimeter at
234
buddy.
Charlie Lima, Van Nuys ground.
I forgot the previous rating and the
out at
first
Almonte.
rating I forgot.
Verify you're here at Van Nuys.
We should actually also set the clock, even though this is too much of an overload for me right now, but let's develop the habit. I would expect to get a descent already.
234 Charlie Lima. Hey Charlie X-ray, clear direct Palmdale. Resume 1 navigation.
Already got a read on the GPS.
1 Foxtrot Romeo, join the Van Nuys 0905 radios and maintain 4,000.
Well, we're going to cross it very soon.
Contact SoCal approach 134.2, they'll figure it out. R6 Alpha, contact Palm Springs Tower 119.7.
But we are cleared, right? We're cleared for the 08, so we can already... 060, Papa Tango Mike?
That's correct.
060, Papa Tango Mike.
R281 Foxtrot Romeo, was that you? I think I said something. 1 Foxtrot
And there's the read.
R281 Foxtrot Romeo, SoCal approach.
And now we can already capture it, so that makes sense. We're already cleared for the 08.
Join the Santa Monica.
But that was a weird angle, so I would have doubted to actually capture the ILS.
Visual approach runway 21. Burbank altimeter 2986.
Heading 250, join the 30 radio Santa Monica vector visual approach 1 Fox Romeo.
Now we should get this is an interesting. We've got Silex. Yeah, we don't have Silex on the GPS now. And we don't have DME, so it's a bit hard to.
Information when you have flight following. That's kind of the point of flight following. Enter at left base, runway 31 left, could land.
So the GPS is still on top of us.
Yeah, 612, contact number tower 118.3.
3,000 feet bottom. We should capture the ILS, but I'm still at 4,000. Above Silex, above all of that other stuff.
PHTIM, join the localizer, please.
We'll join the localizer, Papa Tango Mike.
32 Sierra Bravo, San Luis ground, runway 29 taxi via Alpha.
I mean, you gave me the heading.
PHTIM, 7 miles from Buddy, maintain 3,000 to establish localizer, clear ILS, runway approach.
3,000 is still established and cleared for the 08 ILS approach. Papa Tango Mike. 3,000.
Yeah, 612.
That's better.
Runway 27, clear to land, wind 17008.
Keep up that speed.
628 Alpha, wind variable is 6. R628 Alpha, wind
Should have
variable
started my
6.
turn a bit more early. 07.
R4349er X-ray, San
There it
Luis
is.
runway 29er cleared to land, and wind variable at 3.
Capture it again. Let's get to 079.
And report out X-ray, make sure you listen for call signs. Just because you transmit it doesn't mean
Corresponds
the
with
controller's
my
going to
compass.
respond to you in sequence. He may go out of sequence and respond to whoever he wants.
Looks good. Lights are on. Let's go full mixture.
628 Alpha, you copy the wind?
Already got standby. Tower in standby.
R1 Whiskey Bravo flighting 100 and contact SoCal approach 124.35.
3,000 coming up. Let's see, guys, if I can
One
still even
Foxtrot
pass
Romeo,
for this
you
rating,
descend to
considering
maintain
my
3000.
Seal Beach and SMO mess up.
Or 1 Whiskey Bravo 124.35. Cessna Tango India Mike, contact Burbank Tower 118.7.
Over the tower, Papa Delta Mike. And Burbank Tower, Sky Papa Delta Mike is on the ILS 08.
Sky Tango India Mike, Burbank Tower, wind 14085, runway 8, clear to land.
Clear land 08, Papa Delta Mike.
Sky, correction, Diamond.
I've already passed my 3000 and I didn't check my altimeter. It's gonna take a long time for me to nail that, I guess.
Burn 871 Whiskey Bravo, SoCal approach traffic, 12 o'clock, 3 miles opposite direction, altitude case 4,500,
Come on.
type unknown. Do you approach question?
Up. There comes the localizer.
090 vector, localizer runway 27 approach.
Yes, there we go. Now we descend him. Good boy. Yes. So again, there's so much stuff in my mind, at least, that I just forget. Outer marker. But yeah, that's the outer marker. Boom. Here I should have checked my 3000, I guess, on the non-precision. I don't remember.
82 Sierra Bravo, ready at 29. This is for the Cat 4.
Okay. Yeah, that was an interesting lesson. It was 3000 is still established, and I just sank through it 200 feet. I believe that's still legally okay. It's not pretty, but it's okay-ish. But I wasn't aware of it, and that's the point.
United 612 taxi terminal via Bravo. Have a good day.
Bravo via to terminal via
Yeah,
Bravo.
so it's kind of like tunneling. I'm
King Air.
too focused on my nav 1 and the glide slope. Fly the glide slope that I don't think about other stuff. All right, 1,000 feet is my decision altitude. So 1,000 feet-ish to go.
1 Foxtrot Romeo, cleared visual
Again,
approach, runway 21,
thing is in.
contact Santa Monica Tower 1.
Lights are on, good. Know where to park. Tower is set. Coronas 123.9.
07 Whiskey traffic, 12 o'clock, 3 miles opposite direction, altitude case 6,600, type unknown. 7101 Golf Tango, SoCal approach, channel altimeter 2984.
In Monica Tower.
Still keeping my speed up.
281 Foxtrot Romeo. Bound visual approach runway 21.
Coming closer to Burbank.
281 Foxtrot Romeo, Santa Monica Tower.
Will I be granted my I-3 rating because of that miss-up of SLI and SMO? I expect that I do pass. I don't mind if we don't, but 500 feet, that's my call to set up for landing.
You're on Van Nuys ground. Check your frequency.
Coming up. First flap. Push down on that yoke.
Papa Hotel Kilo India Mike. Contact SoCal approach 134.9er.
There goes the speed. Good. I like it. There's the white band. I like it. Flaps up. So let's use that to capture the glide slope once more and then power in. Much more power, by the way. Still focusing on the instruments and not really looking outside here. This is a hard bit for me for the approach. Is when I put in my 20-degree flaps, I become unstable. I think I should slow down a bit more before I put in the 20 degrees flaps. And there's my decision altitude. Look, yeah, there I am. Continue. Look at that Burbank, that's pretty. I see my planned taxi exit. Runway exit, I meant. Also, I remember the notes saying keep above the visual glide slope thing before reaching the threshold.
Paradise. Victor
So let's do that.
42. Apples. Direct Hector. Direct Needles. Then asphalt.
Okay. Hello, Burbank.
3,000, expect 1,000, 10 minutes after departure, 10,000 unavailable for direction of flight. Departure frequency 135.4, squawk 6004.
Come on. That was pretty. There we are. Burbank, guys. There's our exit. Delta 7. Delta 7 it is.
Command 4 Charlie, Lima, read back, correct? Or 1 Golf Tango, contact SoCal approach on 119.6. Or 07 Whiskey, contact SoCal approach 135.4.
Millionaire in front of us. Now let's see if I passed.
Skyhawk Tango, India Mike, taxi parking via Delta Bravo, pass for the I-3.
Delta Bravo to the ramp. Thanks for the pass, Joe. Papa touch Mike. Good. Passed. Yes. He was forgiving. Landing lights off. Strobe lights off. That's set. That's set. Bravo to the ramp. He said.
Here, 701 Golf Tango, SoCal approach, flight present heading to maintain 3,000 vector visual approach, runway
Delta Bravo to the ramp.
Amend the altitude 3,500.
Okay. I think that's fine. We'll go to Millionaire. I don't really mind.
Whiskey Bravo, turn right heading 180.
We can celebrate. Yes. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Digital. Thanks, Kim. You're still on your way, buddy. Hope you will pass as well.
Alright, Charlie X-ray, contact Joshua approach 126.1.
Alright, very confusing airport here. I've made, I think under, when Marcus was controlling a long time ago, I couldn't find my way at night from, I believe, arriving here at Burbank to my ramp.
Alpha Hotel India Mike after Santa Monica flighting 300, vector ILS, runway 8 approach, advise you Burbank weather.
Kim receives the exact same instructions. Millionaire, well, I feel like a million. Let's just use this big jet taxi line here. Let's turn off our radios. Our car is waiting.
Alright, that was 2 at once. Papa Hotel Kilo and Mike, thank you. Other
boom.
aircraft, go ahead.
Okay. First off, transponder off.
VFR.
Signature.
Good.
VFR flight following the Big Bear at 9500.
Anything else? No. Check for the magnetos. Off both. I see a dip in the RPM. So cut off. We know that our magnetos are actually working still. Magnetos off. Batteries off. Oh. Fuel tanks to the right. Wow, that's extreme trim for my full flap landing. Doors open. Let's do our post flight. Toggle our pitot tube cover. Tie downs I'm not interested in. Chocks I am. No engine cover. Chocks on the other side. And we finish. I rating. I-3 rating in the pocket, guys. Just. My gosh. Thanks, Foka. Thanks, Smokin'. Thank you for your congratulations. Yeah, so interesting. Made 2 mistakes. First one, a mistake that these are all mistakes that I'm already familiar with at this point. That doesn't really surprise me. First one is cockpit management, nav1, nav2. I associated the wrong VORTEC with my nav1. So I should really work on working with a scheme, a consistent, the same habit of how to work with the nav. So the first nav that I'm flying to is always on top in the nav1, in the active frequency. Then the active nav2 is my next. Then in the standby of the nav1 is the third. And in the standby of nav2 is the fourth. And once the ATC is going to tell me skip ahead, that should immediately trigger me to not look at my nav2, let alone just reconsider what is what frequency. Yeah, and so that should be much more on my mind when that stuff happens. It's a really good lesson. And obviously the second lesson was the final approach fix. I was already clipping the 3000 there, the 3000 feet, 200 feet below. That could have already been a fail, actually. I think it's 300 feet. If I went 300 feet below 3000, that would be a certain fail, I think. But in my mind, that was a big failure. And again, I reminded myself before the flight, during the flight, Tim, at Budday, at the final approach fix, check your altimeter. And yeah, at the final approach fix, that's the time, obviously. What's this for song? I'm not playing Zelda. The final approach fix is the time where ATC is going to call you up. That's the issue. That's where approach is going to tell you switch over the tower. And then I got distracted. So I should be aware of that distraction prior to arriving to the final approach fix. That is an important bit. And the same thing I already managed to do when I switched over to departure, and I got that instruction from tower to switch over to departure just at the moment when I needed to level off. So you need to talk with ADC and then level off, and then so that's a bit rusty still, but that worked. But with the final approach fix and then with the glide slope, I was too focused there. So that's something that I still need to work on for my next I rating, and a valuable lesson. Cool. So let's disconnect. Even though Kim is still on our way, we can reconnect if we're still here to see him come in. But I do like to look at my landing actually. This is LAX. 4,000. Here we are descending. Yeah, there's 3,000 here. Yeah, so here I was coming up. I think at this time approach told me to switch over the tower, but I need to review the video. Still trying to capture the needle, as you can see, and here I should have checked. And also I didn't know where Buddha was except for my GPS, which is also a bit of a bummer with my current 172 layout, because the current 172, which is edited by MiniWebs with only the 430, doesn't have DME, and the GPS only shows me the distance to the next fix, which is handy, but for an ILS usually you're referencing to the actual ILS or the VOR, the VORTEC, and I cannot find that information here in my cockpit, so it's a bit hard to then determine where I am in terms of what fix. Usually that's DME based. Sometimes it's with radials from another VORTEC. Then I could determine where I am using my nav2. And here you can see I suddenly woke up and I try to capture the glide slope. Yeah, I really need to bother MiniWebs for adding the DME to this right panel, because for my training, for IFR training, it's very, very handy. He also offers a slant alpha, also for free, the 430 and the slant alpha versions. You can just go to the xplane.org site and you can download that stuff for free. This is Buddha, by the way. That's the outer marker ringing. which is also on the map, by the way. Which is also something that I wasn't really prepared for. I knew it, but at the moment when it happened, I was not expecting it to happen. Anyways, the Slant Alpha version of MiniWebSys 172 does have a DME, because then the GPS is removed, and yeah. But I like to have that DME radio here as well for that reason, so I can know where I'm at with my Slant Alpha ILS approach. So I'm hoping that he will do that. Keith is ADC. Yes, Kim. Yeah, Keith is also a controller, so you're lucky at chatting with him today. Yeah, those are the two mistakes. Let's look at our flight path. In terms of my lateral stuff, it's pretty okay. I was quite aware while flying that I was left of the needle, right of the needle. In terms of my vertical path, I was pretty okay, pretty straight. It was okay. But yeah, this was the moment where I broke through that 3000 and I climbed a bit. Yeah, and here I captured it. Yeah, so yeah, that was the only little bit. In terms of ADC, went pretty well. Yeah, and the Seal Beach SMO mess up over there. That was also an obvious mistake, and we already covered that. Wonderful. Okay, let's look at the landing. With our pitot tube cover still on. Oh yeah, the glide slope here was also interesting. So on the notes with the ILS, we should remain above the glide slope until we fly over the, or at or above the glide slope once we reach the threshold. And I only remembered that while we were there, and I should have been prepared already, expecting that. Going slow. There comes the crosswind. Much more extreme than before. And so here, I should have also flown with 20 degrees of flaps. And then here, right rudder, left aileron. Just a little bit of belly ballooning there, but a perfect landing. One thing that I did forget to do is to keep my left aileron in while I landed. So there was a risk there that I would tip over. I did not apply any crosswind correction here. I was just curious to see whether I passed for my I rating, which is also not good. So you could say 3 topics to improve on. But overall, we passed, so I'm a happy pilot. And wonderful Burbank here. Such a nice scenery. I think it's made by GPP 500. And again, if you have X-Plane, really check him out. I have a video where I review all the airports that GPP has made. GPP 500. So have a look. A great package with many airports with stunning Orbix-like quality. At least I think this is really pretty. It also includes terminal photoreal in most cases, so it blends in really nicely. Yeah, a must-have, I think. Ah, he's on the glide slope. Very good. Let me have a look. Hoping that the flight recorder doesn't do any weird stuff. No, it doesn't. Very good. See. Very good. We're still parked. Let's connect to PilotEdge once more.
Connected to PilotEdge.
And somewhere out there, Kim should be on the approach. So here's the ILS. And I don't have any time issues here, so I'm curious to see him come in. And again, if you are dropping in on the stream, there he is in the far distance. Oh yeah. If you haven't been part of the start of the stream, Kim, Papa Hotel Kilo India Mike, that SimPilot is working on a very cool app for PilotEdge, where you can register your custom livery, your aircraft livery, so that it will be seamlessly online shared with others making use of that app. And so we can actually see each other's custom liveries while flying on on PilotEdge. Most likely it will also include a share of CSLs. So even though you don't own the airplane, you can still see the particular different types of aircraft, which is really great. So it's already I've already seen the app, or at least the result, and it's looking really cool. We are now demoing it. So Papa Hotel Kilo India Mike is now on the ILS approach, and we will see his livery actually. And he's going up like an elevator, or he's going really fast. Interesting. We're gonna see. So that's really cool, I think. I can already put my flight into my logbook here. Nice, getting really close. He's getting too close. I don't want to be distracted here. You can see custom livery. Now, Kim, you got an audience of 19. Here he comes in, crosswind. Well, I think this is a difference between X-plane and prepared, although I think he's flying X-plane. Oh, he's still flying, I guess. Boom, there he is. Well, if you're flying X-plane, yeah, you had a tough landing with that crosswind, Kim. Good job. That must have been tough, but you made it. But here you can see custom liveries by Papa Hotel Kilo India Mike. Okay, boom. That completes the flight for today, guys. Awesome, made it. I-3 rating. Next up is the I-4, and the interesting bit about the I-4 is that I get assigned a destination airport. So I'm going to call up clearance and I'm going to say, hey controller, I'd like to do the I-4, and you need to tell me what my destination airport is. So I will be totally unprepared. I don't have any scripts or stuff to work with. And then I need to figure my whole flight plan, need to file, and then we get going. So that's interesting. That's the I-4, dealer's choice. So that's really interesting. That's next up. Not tomorrow, on Monday. Usually Monday at 17:30. That's my usual time of streaming, but this time I have another appointment. So I don't know where I'm going to stream. Perhaps Tuesday, most likely Tuesday or Wednesday. Again, follow me on Twitter or on Discord. That's where I will announce my streams, and so you can jump aboard and see whether I will pass or fail for the I-4 rating. We're getting there, step by step. Learned some valuable lessons today. Again, a big shout out to Toto, also 733 for giving some very nice tips and facts about flying and correcting me for understanding decision altitudes and minimum descent altitudes. Interesting stuff all at the beginning of the stream. Once again, really appreciate it. And obviously Papa Hotel Kilo India Mike, Kim, for flying along and doing the I-3. Hoping he passed, and announcing that wonderful app where we can share our liveries. I think that's really, really cool. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for your follows. Bolomir, Rytech, Bucky, and Commander Root. Really appreciate your follows. Refuels my spirit. Hoping to see you all next time, I guess Tuesday or Wednesday, where we're going to attempt the I-4 rating. As always, happy flights and blue skies. Have a great Sunday, guys. Bye. Palm Springs Tower, Skylane, Hotel Tango. Mike is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000. With information X-ray and for a full stop. Landing on 3 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Link, Palm Springs Tower, Squawk 6250.
6250.
Bravo Hotel 10, Tango India Mike. Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
That's available.
Correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Land in 09005.
Clear to land runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type DC-12 land call request clearance to Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Going to Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7. Squawk 6316.
That's 4658 steered to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, and initially climb 7,000, expected under after 5, departure 167, about 6316 plus 665.
Plus 4658, baggage correct. Tango D Mike, taxi to ramp, yeah,
Taxi to the ramp.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind, runway 26, left.